While various politicians, including Donald Trump, continue to discriminate against Muslim religion, turns out that some politicians like Ted Cruz believe that Christian religion is really under attack. In fact, during a recent campaign stop in South Carolina, Ted Cruz made a point about how one female high schooler was about to go to jail because administrators in the government did not allow her to use the word Jesus during one of her speeches. Now, was that a true story? Of course it wasn't. Let me give you the details. Cruz made the remark after telling the story of Angela Hildenbrand, a high school valedictorian who he claims was threatened with jail if she exercised her right to pray during her graduation speech. Now, to put this story into more context, the school that girl goes to was under fire by one atheist student who filed a lawsuit against the school in 2011 because he felt that many of these class meetings, these assemblies would lead to praying, and that's not supposed to happen at public schools. So during this lawsuit, this one female student, Angela Hildenbrand, joined in later in an appeal process in order to basically fight back against the government when judges ruled that, hey, praying in school is probably not a good idea. We're not supposed to endorse religion in public schools. Now, attorneys from the Liberty Institute filed an emergency motion and won an appeal shortly before her graduation. So that basically means that she was able to give whatever speech she wanted. She was never threatened with jail time. There were no threats whatsoever. The original ruling just stated that if you're in a public school, that public school is not supposed to endorse one religion or another. Now, in the appeal process, the judges ruled that, hey, you know what? It's not the administrators or the teachers that are leading the students to prayer. It's the students themselves, and it's a little different. I don't know if I agree with that ruling either, because you're dealing with a captive audience during a graduation ceremony. But nonetheless, that was the ruling.
So, first of all, I don't know if Corwin Schultz is, and you might know this better than I do, whether he's an atheist. He's the guy who sued saying, I don't want to hear a Christian prayer, or if he's Jewish, right? And it doesn't really matter either way, but why should Jews have to listen to a Christian prayer during their graduation ceremony? Now, if you said, why do Muslims need to listen to, you're not going to get a lot of sympathy. But hey, Hindus, Buddhists, atheists, why do we have to, we don't believe in the same thing you believe in. Why are you forcing us to listen to your prayers? It's like they always feel like they're the victims. No, you're shoving it down our throat. We're not going out there. Corwin, let's say he's atheist. It's not like he's going out there and like, ha ha, your God sucks. He's non-existent. Let me tell you all about it. He's not the one doing that. You're forcing the religion on him. You're victimizing him, not the reverse, right?
Right. Now, look, this fear-mongering is exactly what works for the Republican Party. They're speaking to their right-wing base that believes that their religion is under attack because, oh my God, look, it turns out that we're giving people equality and we're giving them rights, like the right to marry if you're in a same-sex relationship, right? So they think that they're under attack because we're expanding rights to various groups of people. And so Ted Cruz is playing into that. He's fear-mongering to them, and they think, oh my God, this Ted Cruz guy, he's going to fight for us. He's going to make sure that us Christians will no longer be disenfranchised in the United States.
Yeah, and okay, so if all of this was true, it would still be, an interesting story. Hey, wait a minute now. I'm not sure they should go as far as putting her in jail for that, but there's a good reason why she wouldn't be allowed to give a prayer. But the story isn't true.
No, not at all.
She's not going to go to jail if she said Jesus. That wasn't the original ruling at all. The original ruling didn't have anything to do with the students. They wouldn't be punished at all, let alone going to jail, let alone for mentioning Jesus.
Yes. Look, Greg Lipper, who was one of the lawyers who worked on this case, he's from Americans United for Separation of Church and State. Okay, sounds like a pretty good cause in a country that's supposed to be in favor of separation of church and state. He says there was a reference in the preliminary injunction to enforcement mechanisms, but that was aimed at the school district, not the students. There was no threat of any student getting punished by the court, let alone getting sent to jail. So were the administrators threatened with jail time? Well, if you don't follow the rules that the court has given you, then you will be found in contempt of court, and you could possibly face jail time,
but
like Kim Davis.
For repeated infractions. But that'd have to be over the course of many years. If every year they send a kid out there to give a Christian prayer, full well knowing the court told them not to do it, that would be the case. But first of all, they won, so none of it was true.
Right.
They were allowed to give the prayer anyway, right? Second of all, it was, even the original court said, you can mention Jesus all you want. You just can't do a prayer, okay? You can tell a story about Jesus. You can tell how you relate to Jesus. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. That was allowed in the original decision. The original decision was overturned anyway, and there was never a threat of jail time, let alone any punishment for the students. So it is a lie through and through. But Ted Cruz loves that kind of lie. He's exactly the kind of demagogue. He's like, yummy for my tummy. I can profit off of this. I can get some votes on this. Oh my God, the discrimination that poor Christians suffer in this country. Like, banning all Muslims like I want to do? Not just Trump. Today, Cruz proposed 3 different laws to ban Muslims from this country, okay? A 3-year ban in one case if you come from a majority Muslim country, okay? Unbelievable, right? But no, they're not discriminated against. If you say the word Jesus, you're going to be arrested. A total and utter fraud. That's what Ted Cruz is. Finally, this Hildenbrand character, who was the valedictorian, so God bless her heart on that. Ironic. But she's also part of this victim industrial complex. Hildenbrand was not even named in the lawsuit at the time of the injunction, as they explained. She intervened and added her name as a defendant during the appeals process. So she jumped in like, you're suing me too, you're suing me too. No, I wasn't suing you. I was asking the school not to do the prayer. No, I'm the victim, I'm the victim, I'm the victim, I'm a defendant.
Yeah.
Okay? But you're the majority. You get to say Jesus, Jesus, Jesus all over the place anyway. Most people go to church. You're an overwhelmingly majority Christian community. So one kid says, hey, man, could you not force it down my throat? I'm the victim. I'm the victim. Right?
Yeah.
God, they want to be the victim so bad. And then they accuse liberals of having a victim mentality. It's nothing but projection. All they want to do is cry all day long, even though they're the ones in charge.